What's the hardest thing for you to get in your homeschool mom life? Is it A, a tidy house, B, time away, or C, thinking two thoughts consecutively? Trick question. All three of those things can be challenging to get at times as a homeschool mom.
This is rivalry. We have Mom first impressions only, she says. We have Rachel's, if I don't win, someone's gonna die before we leave. And Zachary, I just wanna win.
No, see, Mom, no.
It's not fair. The game goes on.
Mom, no.
I'm Teresa Wiedrich, the certified life coach and graduated homeschool mom of 4, here to help you stop pushing through so you can shed what's not working and show up authentically, confidently, and purposefully in your homeschool mom life. It's lovely to meet you. If you'd like to introduce yourself to me, I'd love to hear about you in the comments below. It is hard to keep a tidy home as you're homeschooling. It is definitely hard to think two thoughts consecutively in your homeschool mom life. And it's also tricky to do things for you outside of your homeschool mom role, to find time to spend just on you, to develop you, to become more you, to learn your interests and follow your rabbit trails. I know it's challenging because I've lived it. And I also know that it's a necessary part of your happiness factor as a homeschool mom. It will help to make you feel more satisfied and fulfilled in your homeschool mom journey over the long run. You need to build more time for you, even if that's just 15 minutes every week. I know it's challenging, and not only to get that time away, but if you've been mothering or homeschooling long enough, you might actually forget, I don't even know what I like to do. I don't even know what I would do if I had spare time to do things that I like to do. I don't remember who I even am beyond this mom role. What would I do if I had all the time and resources in the world? I've got a special checklist called the UBU checklist, and I'm tying the discussion today of this UBU checklist with a recent podcast episode that I released called Discover Your Voice Beyond Your Homeschool Mom Role. You can listen to that podcast episode from the Homeschool Mama Self-Care Podcast in the podcast playlist here on YouTube, or you can find the podcast on all the podcast players. The UBU checklist helps you to get to know you better, to reflect on you. So grab a pen and paper or your journal, and let's get started. First, let's start with the UBU checklist. So it's a set of questions designed to help you rediscover who you are outside of your homeschool mom role. Let's walk through a few of these questions together. We'll reflect on them as we go. And if you're in the Confident Homeschool Mom Collective, we can have conversation about these discussion questions in the Confident Homeschool Mom Collective on Friday. Feel free to pause the video if you want to write down your thoughts. So question number 1, describe your personality. Do you function more from your head or from your heart? So take a moment to think about this. Are you the logical planner who thrives on organizing the homeschool day to the minute? Or are you the logical kind of person that knows you need margins in your day to get to the extracurricular activities, so you schedule it in? Do you work more from your head? Or are you someone that likes to lead more from your heart, allowing space for creativity and spontaneity in your child's learning and in your life? Neither is better, but recognizing who you are, which one you are more likely to show up in your homeschool, helps you to function better because you get clear on who you are and also how you relate to the people in your homeschool. Where do they function best? This is also a way to help you authentically own who you are, how you show up, more from the head or more from the heart. Now ask yourself, what did you like to do on a cozy afternoon before you had your kids? Do you even remember? This is one of my favorite questions because it takes me back to a time when I didn't have the constant demands of motherhood. And to be honest, after 25 years, I actually kind of forget what that was like. And as many people declare, there was a lot of time. And what did I do with it all? I do remember being 20-something, having 6 bags of groceries, and it taking me a solid hour and a half to do all my errands for the entire week. Wondered to myself, why do I have to spend so much time doing mundane housework and household activities? Okay, so if you remember what you liked to do way back when, remind yourself, did you love to read? Did you love to write? Did you like to take long walks by yourself or maybe paint? Did you like to do a lot of activities with others on Saturday afternoons or Sunday brunch? If you had that time again, what would you do now? In my latest podcast episode, Discover Your Unique Voice Beyond Your Homeschool Mama Identity, I talk about the realization that many of us have after homeschooling a few years. We begin to work ourselves out of a job. The kids grow more independent, and suddenly we're left wondering, what else do I want to do with my life? Because I think I'm going to have more time. This homeschool mom life becomes a big part of not just what we do all day, but who we are. But it's not all of who we are. We are people with passions and interests and creativities and dreams beyond our homeschool mom role. So before you get to that point, ask yourself what you would do if you had extra time. Imagine extra time. What would you create, explore, or learn? Homeschooling gives us the freedom to grow, to become more us, just like we're encouraging our kids to become more them and to lean into their curiosities and follow their rabbit trails. If they can do it, if we encourage them to do it, why don't we? Another key part of the UBU checklist is to understand your emotional landscape. Ask yourself, what makes you feel angry? What makes you feel overwhelmed? What brings you joy? This reflection, learning more about your emotional atmosphere, helps us recognize our emotional triggers and also what drives us. For example, maybe feeling like you're not doing enough in homeschooling triggers your anxiety, or that feeling of not good enough. Or maybe overscheduling yourself leaves you feeling overwhelmed and stressed. I know it did for me. Understanding this can help you create healthier routines and boundaries. Speaking of boundaries, one of the most valuable things I've learned as a homeschool mom is the importance of making space for my own personal growth. In this podcast episode, I shared how I discovered my voice as a writer when I allowed myself to pursue interests outside of homeschooling. I'm curious what your version of that is. I know everybody's not a writer, but what else would you do beyond your homeschooling experience? What creativity or passion could you nurture if you were given permission? This homeschool lifestyle is a beautiful lifestyle. This homeschool thing is a beautiful opportunity for your kids, and it's a beautiful opportunity for you too. It's an opportunity for you to follow your rabbit trails, to pursue your curiosities, to have a seat at the homeschool family table too. You have a voice, a purpose, and passions, and they deserve time and energy too. So take a moment today to work through the UBU checklist, which you'll find down below, and think about how you can live with more purpose and intention beyond your homeschool mom role. If you'd like to discuss these things further, book a no-obligation conversation with me to learn more about coaching and how you can overcome your challenges. Just ask me for the booking link, or you can find it in the description below. Thank you for watching. If this has been an encouragement to you, would you share it with another homeschool mom that you think would be encouraged too? Until next time, take care of yourself, homeschool mom. And remember, you have a seat at the homeschool table too.